Good evening, everybody. Now, you know, every week we start these lives and we say to you all, it's important that you comment to let us know that you are here and with us, because one of these days we're going to be stood here talking to ourselves. Tonight has been that night. I don't know where it's gone. I don't know what I've done, but I think I've just had a 2.5 minute conversation with myself. So this is why we always tell you, very important, if you're the first one here, please let us know that you're here with us. Because of 2 minutes, I think I was chatting to myself, waiting to see if somebody commented. It's always very, very dangerous when you leave me alone with technology. Now, I think what I had done, and I don't actually know how I did this, I created what they call a test broadcast. What do we need a test broadcast for? I've got no idea. Probably one of them techie things that would save me lots of embarrassment, but I've got no idea how I created it. I've got no idea what it meant, and I've got no idea how it works. And I don't know how to turn a test one into a proper one. So I had to cancel it all, reboot the system, and start again, typically. One day, I thought I was prepared. I thought I was here early. I thought it was going to work. And oh no, no, no. Technology had its way with me. So let's have a little look. I can see some of you are coming in to join us. So sorry for the delay. It was literally me tapping the box as I do, trying to get it to work. So good evening, Kim. Lovely to have you with us. Good evening, Sharon. Good evening, Barbara. I couldn't find you, Barbara. You think you couldn't find me? I couldn't find you. Just me and the room all on our little lonesome here. Good evening, Beth, and good evening, Kathleen. Lovely to have you with us. These comments are very reassuring that I'm not once again just stood here talking to myself. Honestly. Sue Jones, I couldn't find it. Please ignore all of my messages. Didn't see any messages, so we're all right. But when I find them later, I'll know that this was what it meant and you have found us. So thank you for letting us know. So then, tonight I'm flying currently solo, which is even more dangerous. Now I'm going to try and keep up with your comments because Peter has had to leave me this evening. But do not fear. The hostage has been let out into the world for a very good reason, and all is fine, so do not panic. Pete's mum's not very well this evening, so Pete's just gone to check her out and make sure she's okay, but he'll be back shortly. But in the meantime, do not fear. I have somebody mic'd up, ready, who is going to help us. I bet you can tell where this is going before I even push the button. Good evening, Debbie. How are we? Are we okay? I think that's as much as we're going to get out of Debbie. And I don't know if she's going to be happy that I've stuck a mic on her hair, possibly her earring. But either way, Debbie is here and he's mic'd ready. I will be honest, the mic is there for Pete when Pete gets in, so he can just subtly sneak in and join in the conversation this evening. So we'll see what time he gets here. Now, I do know he's being very caring and very loving, but I do also think maybe we should set like a star per 10 minutes he's late. 5 minutes? I don't know. I'll let you decide. I know you lot. You're going to think he's very sweet and probably give me the stars for trying to give him stars. We'll see how that goes throughout the evening, shall we? Now, one thing I will tell you, Pete usually gives me side eye from giving you too many secrets away, giving you too much of an insight. Pete's not here. Debbie, no side eye. So if you want to know anything, now's your time. Here I go unleashing the can of worms that is our world. And I can't, I've got to behave, so don't encourage bad behaviour. So I'm going to try and ignore the comments and not read them, just in case you're encouraging me to be too naughty. This evening we do have lots to get through, as we always do. It wouldn't be a Monday night now without lots and lots to chat about. And tonight, of course, is no different. Now, first of all, Kim says, have you left the door open? I have left the door open. The doors are all open in the hope he can sneak in like a stealth ninja and get sat there. We'll see if he puts the Debbie McGee mask on. We might get the dodgy wave we got last week. Was it last week, week before? I like the dodgy wave. It made me happy. Okay, let's stick on track. So what have we got to talk to you about this evening? First of all, we need to announce our homework winner, don't we? Always one of my favourite parts to the week is getting to announce who's won. Now, actually, this is going to take me off onto a little side note. I have decided that on these lives, I'm going to have to start requesting, I don't know, well, I'd like a Range Rover. Is it a Range Rover or a Land Rover? I never know. I'll have either. I wouldn't mind a Lamborghini. I'm just going to keep dropping really expensive things into conversations, just in the hope people are paying attention. Because of a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned that our lives could do with a little gadget. And you're never going to guess what I got through the post. Me and Pete got this for a fest, and I have to show it to you because it's this good. Let's take you over to the right camera. Look at this little gadget. Now, this little gadget has been sent to us by Kim along with a very lovely card, very beautiful card that was entered into our homework a couple of weeks ago. And on the inside, Kim says, "Hi Jamie and Pete, it's me again. You need a drum roll sound for Monday nights, but I'm sure you'll find use for the other sounds. Cheers, Kim." Well, Kim, thank you for the lovely card and thank you for the little sound box. And our drum roll is going to come in perfect for this evening. And we might even explore some of the other noises throughout the night maybe, especially maybe the little light bulb when we have a bright idea. I thought that was quite good. Maybe, oh, I don't know, can I share that one? Well, I've got to do this by memory. Which ones did I think we should share? Oh, this could be good for when Pete gets here. I'm not going to tell you the hours of fun me and Pete have had with this little box. Honestly, we do need to get out more. But this again was collected on way home late one evening, and we just played with this the whole journey home. It brought us joy. Okay, so let's go back to it, shall we? So our winner for this week's homework. That's what we say to that. That was the wrong button, wasn't it? Where's it gone? Our winner is Sue Dyke. So congratulations, Sue. If you don't mind terribly, can you pop us an email to jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com and we will get your prize popped in the post to you. Every week we give away a £40 goodie bag full of Creative Expressions goodies to one lucky winner who takes part in our homework. And this week it is, of course, going to be Sue Dyke. Now, this week was our transport kind of hint of gold vibe. It was a very lovely week. We had over 27 entries, which was lovely to see. So thank you all for taking part. Later this evening, we will set this week's homework, which is, of course, going to set you off on a whole different mission. Very exciting. It's not even about card making this week, and I can't wait to see what you all do. But before we go any further, should we just check in with a few comments? Because if I haven't got Pete on hand tonight to keep me online, so let's have a little look and see what's going on. Alison, can't say a word in answer to that one. Have a little look. Samantha, Pete's mum will be fine. Thank you for checking. She will. I'm going to bring my screen back because I keep going off the edge, don't I? Pete's mum will be fine. Thank you for your very kind comments. Mary's lovely. She's a great mother-in-law, and I do hope she soon feels better. I'm sure she'll be absolutely fine. Yes, it does mean we're going to have sound effects, Sheila. And yes, Sue, it is rather funny. Kim is brilliant. She does send us the best gifts. Kim is the same Kim who sent us the Debbie McGee mask as well. She keeps spoiling us, and the badge for Alison. So very, very, very lucky. So, okay, shall we get on with some goodie bits this evening then? So we've told you about our winner. We've introduced you to the sound box. What haven't I done so far? Let's give you some bits and pieces to count down to. So this Saturday, which is very exciting. Today's been a great day actually here at HQ. It really has. We had Mel and Rita and the rest of the family here from Glitter Bits Crafts in Kettering. I even got the name right. I never get names right. Glitter Bits Crafts. I did get it right. Got it right. Little pat on the back. Should have a little sound effect for that one. But we had Mel and Rita here, and they had a great little afternoon with us, just having a little look around. They have a demo day coming up in a couple of months. Actually, we're well ahead of schedule with that one. I haven't really been supposed to be telling you about this, so that would have been a first star on the chart from Peter if he was here. But is he not here? What is it about the mice playing while the cat's away? The mice will play. So yeah, we have a demo day coming up with them in a couple of months, and they will come to the HQ today to have a little tour and to talk about their demo day and to pick up a few bits and bobs that they're taking back to Kettering. And it was really lovely to meet them, spend some time with them, get to meet some of the family as well, because it is always really lovely to kind of see the people behind the stockists, the story that goes on behind the scenes, and to have a little chat about a few bits and bobs too. So that was really lovely and very, very exciting. And we let them into a few little secrets that I'm sure we're going to be telling you all about soon too. So it was a really lovely, fun afternoon. We've also been packing lots of goodies, heading out to Craft Bliss for this week's demo day. So this Saturday, 10 till 4, Gwen is going to be in Craft Bliss, which is located in Ball, and she is going to be there for the day to bring you lots and lots of inspiration. We've told you this before, but there will be an amazing goodie bag that has an incredible bundle in it at a silly, silly price. There is also going to be Gwen's demo day die. I think that's what we settled on by one of your suggestions last week. Gwen's demo day die at a fantastic price as well. So that is Craft Bliss this Saturday coming 10 till 4 with the lovely Gwen. You know you're in for a good day. And I am going to just drop something, just little hint here. Craft Bliss are going to have exclusive access to a release that isn't coming out anywhere else until, got it on my little card, bear with me, I'll have a little look. When is it? I don't know, I don't think I wrote down the date. No, did I write down the date? I don't know, did write down the bottom of the card. I'll get there in a minute, bear with, ever so sorry. So Thursday the 28th, it will be available on Hobby Maker, but Craft Bliss will have it all the way on the 23rd for that day, 10 till 4. You're going to be able to get in the store and see a brand new release that we haven't shown you, nobody knows about, no one's going to tell you about. You're going to have to go in store to find out what it is. It is a Creative Expressions release. It is our second release from Creative Expressions. Our first one was Dies to Dot. This is our brand new release. I'm absolutely, genuinely in love with it. I said to Gwen, I'm going to make you a few samples because if I'm going to try and fit this in, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to see if I can make you half a dozen samples because I just want to play with it and see how I get on with it. I've done 30. I wasn't meant to, I didn't have to, but I've done 30. That's how much I love it. I genuinely love it. So if you want to go see them samples, Gwen will have them in store with her at Craft Bliss on Saturday. She'll also have some of the DT samples and she'll have her own samples. It's an amazing collection. I'm not even going to tell you what it is in any sense because it would ruin the surprise. So pop into Craft Bliss this Saturday, 10 till 4 to see it. And then of course, Gwen will be live with you next Monday. So me and Gwen are swapping. It all gets very confusing. We'll run through this a couple of times tonight, but we are going to swap about a bit. And Gwen will be doing the next Monday Night Natter, which will be a sneaky peek ahead of her shows on Thursday. So she'll do Monday Night Natter sneaky peek to show everybody this new collection. And then it will be available on Hobby Maker on the Thursday. So lots to look forward to there. Our Thursday night Natter will move to Friday because Gwen will technically be on TV or getting ready for the TV on Thursday. So on Friday, I'll be back as part of our swap and I will be with you Friday at 7 PM. There will, of course, be events posted for all of these bits on the Facebook page throughout the next week or so you can keep up with all of the dates and times I'm telling you about. So do not fear. What else do I need to tell you? Quick shout out this week. I am off to liveshopping.vip at Highlight Crafts and I will be with you Wednesday at 6 PM and I'm going to be bringing you more inspiration with Rodney and family. And then on Thursday at 1 PM, look what's back. Dies to Dot have returned in store and we have got the whole Dies to Dot collection. That isn't as easy as it looks to do this. I don't know why I've tried to do it this way. We should have gone overhead. I now just make a little fan. Dies to Dot collection is going to be in stock and available on the shows. I can also tell you that if you had this on extended dispatch from Hobby Maker, which we know hundreds of you did, we are working through those orders as quickly as we can. You might have seen the picture go up earlier. We've sent out loads of them. There's a few more to go that will leave us tomorrow at about 3-ish when Yodel comes back. You're very lucky. I don't normally say that without attempting to yodel. Nobody needs to hear that. But tomorrow there will be more of them leaving the warehouse. So just bear with us as we try and catch up and get them all out. The Yodel man was a little bit earlier than planned today, so we didn't quite catch him with all of them. But tomorrow we'll be sending out more for you. Also keep an eye on your stockists because your stockists have had this on extended dispatch as well. And lots of our stockists have that now arriving with them too. So if you do prefer to support stockists, keep an eye on them because I'm sure they will be announcing that they're here and with them any day now. Okay. What was the sound effect we was going to go with? We had a sound effect, didn't we? That can only mean one thing and one thing only, can't it? Let's see.
Debbie's been replaced.
Debbie has been replaced.
Hi, how did it go? How was my wave? How was my wave?
Well, that one reminded me of Michael Jackson.
Hello.
Not in a bad way. It was good.
I'm back.
It wasn't your Debbie McGee wave, though.
Debbie back on there.
We do need to work.
No,
Don't
I
squish
can't.
Debbie.
I can't.
I'm watching you. Debbie nearly just got squished. We're not having a squish Debbie.
Debbie's back.
Debbie's
How
back.
are we all doing? I understand that. Actually, hang on a minute.
What's going on here? Excuse me. Star charts do not need to be got out already. What's going on?
Star chart doesn't need to come out.
What have I done?
I remember what he did. He did something bad, didn't he?
I don't know what you think I've done. I've been very innocent.
See, I drove over here from the hospital with him connected to the car, so I can hear it. And I'm trying to remember which secret he gave away.
I don't know if that's allowed. Is that against the law? I feel it should be. I think that's worthy of stars. I suppose it's no different to listening to the radio.
Ish.
But
so, because Emma will have, she'll give me, stars. You get a star.
You get a star. You get a star.
You
get a star. You get a star. When did we turn into Oprah?
I don't know. Are we all okay? Have I missed anything?
Not really. I think so far I managed to do a test live instead of a proper live and spent about 3 minutes talking to myself, which is never advisable. You left me alone, Pete. It's not good, is it? Should we do some crafting? Because you haven't just tuned in to watch me waffle endless nonsense, have you? So today I thought, because this is a playtime live, which means we can join in with anything and show anything, but I thought we would actually play around a bit with our new dies of the week. So this is the card that we're going to do to begin with. Ooh, look at that. It's lost a pearl and everything. It's not good. But this is the card we're going to create, and we're going to do it with these two die sets. I absolutely love these. I really genuinely do. These are a die. They've been out a little while. I'll tell you when. 2021 they come out. So they've been out a couple of years, few years. I've never really been that enamoured with them. I love Sue's dies. I love what Sue creates. I always trust that Sue knows what she's doing. But I was always a little bit like, I don't know, what am I going to do with them? Which is a silly thing to say because they're flowers and they're vases. It's pretty obvious we're going to stick flowers in vases. We're going to make lovely displays. But I don't know. Some dies you look at them and you think, I really, 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 really need that. And other ones you think, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Well, that's what I love about Die of the Week. It gives me the chance to play. And this week, we couldn't just have one because that would be rude. How could we leave the other one out? So we've brought you both dies of the week as our feature this week. And you're going to see lots of posts posted this week where we interchange the two sets. Now, I know lots of you like to shop ahead. We are looking at CED 1535 and CED 1536. The recommended retail prices for each set is $21.99. As you can see, you get an awful lot in these sets. There is absolutely loads in them. So there is lots of value for money between the sets. I need gold, please, Peter. I was going to try and mouth gold. That wasn't going to work. I'm going to have to send him off for his first thing. Thank goodness Peter has rescued us. In our sets, we have 21 dies in this one and 22 dies in that one, which is actually really, really good because it makes them about £1 a die, doesn't it? Which is great value considering on how versatile they are and how many ways we're going to be able to intermix them. Of course, as always, check out the stockist list if you'd like to track down a stockist to purchase these from. If we have any stockists here with us this evening and you would like to pop a link in the comments, please feel free to do so. And of course, if you've got these dies, feel free to add a direct link to them as well. We are looking at Finishing Touches Elegant Arrangements and Finishing Touches Beautiful Blossoms. They're the sets we're playing with. So for our first part of our card, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the dies, which again I think possibly should have a little soundtracky bit. I'm also going to share with you a little tip. I was doing this the other day and Pete seen me do it and he was like, you should share that, that's a good tip. So I'm going to share it. Now, as you may know, CE dies, our creative expression dies, used to come in plastic packets. We've got rid of them. We got rid of that. We didn't like that. That weren't good for the environment. We've gone to this style instead of more just bags. Now with bags, these are great as well because we can just snip across this zigzaggy line at the top here and we can make a little pocket to keep them in. So if you want to store them in the packet, great way to do it. With these ones, they can be a bit of a pain to get out, being honest with you, which is one of the reasons that we changed from this to these when we could actually choose, and it tends to help. If you want to get the product out of them, just snip diagonally across the corners, and then all of a sudden you can just open that part, and this part, mine's stuck to it because I haven't got any dies on it, but it will just slip in and out of the pocket. Now I've been naughty because I haven't done what I should do, and I will do when I'm finished working with them. But instead of putting all of the pieces back in that packet, I've put them all into this packet so that this packet can come in and out. But it gives you a little pocket to keep all of your pieces within. Now you will of course stick them back on there. You might even choose to stick a little magnetic sheet in there. But it's a much neater way to stack them, and it's a much easier way to get them out of the packet. Now I'm never as clean as I should be, so mine are just thrown in at random. But what we are going to do is we're going to bring in a few pieces and we're going to cut these out. And we're going to do this for this project from some black card. Now Peter, in your absence, I've been very neglectful at the comments because let's be honest, we can be truthful about this. I'm never able to do two things at once, and I really haven't done very well at keeping up with the comments. So please do just interject the minute you find one of these comments I've missed, because there will be a few, I assure you. Okay, so we're going to cut these from black card. We're going to take on our first layout and we're going to place down some black card. We then want to emboss these, and I can't really be bothered to send it through with another mat. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 pieces of card on at once and send that through in one go. And what that will do is that will amplify the pressure and it will emboss them front ones even deeper. So when we go in with our wax that we're going to be playing with in just a moment, we're then going to end up with even more texture and depth to it. We're going to play with the gold bullion wax, which is this beautiful soft gold shade, but the waxes come in 6 colours. There is a white, a copper, a pink, a blue and a silver. So we could of course go off and colour all of our flowers as different tones, but for this one I thought we would stick to just one shade. So we're going to take away our top sheet here, which is now of course perfectly cut. All of them elements have been cut through for us, and then we can pop off all of these secondary pieces. These are the ones that we want to be working with. Now just like normal, because we've cut 2 dies at once, the secondary cut is going to stay within the card. We can tease it out if we want to, but we don't need it. We just needed it to do our embossing for us. And actually showing you all of these pieces left in place is kind of nice, because you might choose to do this as like a background or a layout and then actually colour over the top of those and use them in place if you prefer. We don't want to do that. We want these pieces. So these are the bits we're going to be working with. So we'll take these bits of card, we'll place those off to one side. We're going to remove these dies before I forget about them. I'm going to take those off of there, and we're going to do what we shouldn't do, but we're going to come back to this at a later day, I promise. We're going to pop all of those back inside that little folder, and we'll come back to them later. How not to store your dies in one easy move. And then we're going to take all of these and we're going to get a blending mat to work on, and we're going to bring in that lovely gold bullion wax. Now when we're going to go over the top of a die cut, we don't want this to be too heavy. We actually want to build up our layers instead of go on straight away and then not sort of kind of obliterate it. We didn't want this to be from gold. If it was all going to be full on gold, then we might as well have just used a sheet of gold card. We don't want that. We want to keep that lovely black texture coming through in the background. So we're going to go over the top here with our gold bullion, and we're going to use our finger to do it. Now when we're doing big bulk areas and we want to colour all of the area, then a finger dauber is brilliant because it's going to get lots of texture in lots of places nice and quickly. But with these flowers and these vases, there's lots of debossed detail that's going to run through them. And if we use a finger dauber is going to be softer than our fingertips, and it's going to go into all of them indentations potentially, and you're going to lose that pattern. And we don't want to do that. We just want to highlight the top here of the die cuts. So we're going to use our finger because it's a harder surface. And as you can see when we do that, like here with our flower, we've still kept the petals and the indentations on the leaves as solid black, which is much more important to us, where the finger dauber would have gone into them, coloured them areas. So we can go over as many of these as we want to. We're going to build up quite a display of these. So we're going to tackle a few areas. Now wax is great because anytime it comes in contact with your finger, or if you put it onto your hand, it's going to melt because it's literally wax, and it's then going to become pliable and movable. So it's always a good idea if you want to stretch it further to work with it off of your palm or the top of your hand, but actually a mat's not too bad either. So we're just going to work this over the top here and colour a few elements. Now I got a bit carried away with this card. There is hundreds of components on here, and in a minute we're going to have great fun watching me for the next 20 minutes piece it all together, but I'll try and do it quickly. But you can see here there's just a few elements, And I don't know what sets these are from. They're probably going to be a mixture of both of them. But there's a few elements all been given that nice gold touch, that little elegant touch. And of course, you don't have to do this from black card. This could be all different colours that we're working with. You might choose to do coloured card, but then add the gold wax over the top of it to be the bit that uniforms them all together. Or you might wish to go the other way and you might wish to do them all from black card, but then actually colour over them using all different colours of waxes and let that be the point of difference that runs through them. For this project, we're going to go just black and gold because I thought that was really nice. So on to our card blank. Let's start looking at the backgrounds and building up with this one, shall we? So we're going to start off with our card blank and we're going to go for 5.5. And we are going to go for 7.5. So 5.5 by 7.5. And this is one I've trimmed down from a much bigger card. So it's a top opening card. I love top opening cards. Not so easy to come across, are they? So it's something nice that I tend to trim out myself and create. We're then going to go for our layers. Now we want to match in our layers to the card itself. So we're going to go for some black card once again, but we're going to add that gold running around the edge. Now this is what I meant about a finger dauber. So we're going to bring in our finger dauber, and my finger daubers, Craig from Crafter's Companion, or who was Crafter's Companion, come up with this great tip of adding your finger daubers onto the tips of your alcohol markers if you've got some old alcohol markers or something similar, so you don't actually have to wear them as a finger dauber. And we're going to pick that up, we're going to take off the excess, and then we're just going to run the finger dauber down the edge of the card here. And we're only creating a mat and a layer, and there's no indentations that we're worried about losing the depth to or losing the impression of, so we can go all the way around the edge. And we're going to do that technique that Gwen likes to share with us, which is a really good one. Instead of going just straight round your lines, what we're going to try and do is as we come down the length, so we come down the home straight here, we're going to try and turn the corner at the same time, because then that way you don't get that start-stop or that double layer in one corner. I haven't perfected this yet. Gwen does that effortlessly, but we're going to attempt to do it just so we don't get any bulk build on the corners. Now wax is a little bit more forgiving because we can blend it, but especially if you're doing it with paints or pens, it can be a little bit heavy in the corner if it doubles layers, and that little round the corner trick that Gwen does really does make it look better. So now we've got our layer created. I've got one here that I've already done, and I've got it built up on some 1mm foam tape. And we're going to bring this in, and we're going to layer it onto the front of the card. Trying to think of what I've given away in your absence, Peter, that I was going to get a star for. I think I've been very well behaved, considering I've been on my own.
I know one was the demo day, but that's not a major one. We can let you off on that one.
I think that was nice to mention.
It is nice.
I couldn't remember when it is. I think it's November.
Yeah, Saturday, 1st of November.
Oh, look at you. You've got the whole hog. There is no secrets where you are, is there?
No.
I'm going to give you side eye. Okay. On to the next.
I have to say, I did love Kim's machine. You playing with that until you press the wrong button. It's quite funny.
What button?
He loves your machine, Kim.
I do love the machine.
The
machine
machine
has genuinely made me laugh more than it should have.
I think it was nearly midnight when we took it out of the packaging and we was like, what on earth is in here?
What is this?
And I was like, there's a card. I think it's, you know, another little gift, and it was so chuffed. And these little eyes when he pressed the buttons.
It doesn't take a lot, but that was good. That was good. That was good. Okay, so what we've done now is we're going to bring in our rectangle dies, which of course are our stitched and pierced ones. And we've just cut one of these out. So we've gone for the third size down to give you a little glimpse of what we've been using. And then as you see, I've just put it onto a scoreboard and I've scored it a few random lines, 0.5 centimetre apart. And this really is just to accentuate the design and take it up the project. It's just instead of having a load of flowers here with nothing filling that top void, this gives us a structure. It gives us a place that we're going to build our display on. I don't know if that's necessarily something the world does, but I kind of like it because it gives me a location and a platform to build from and to. So once again, 1mm foam tape on the reverse of this one, which I've already done. I'm going to bring back in our card and we're going to place this one down. I've added some of our 3mm gold gems into the corners just to coordinate perfectly, of course, with our gold embellishments that we're going to be working with. And just so you don't have to watch me die cut and colour and tape lots of elements, we're going to cheat and we're going to go to our little IKEA bag of goodness here, which is already done for us. And we can start bringing in some of these and looking at where we're going to build up our displays. So what have we got? We've got a couple of vases, we've got some flowers. This will take me a moment, I do warn you. So actually, now might be a good time to drop the question of the evening. You don't know what the question is, do you, Peter? Been left alone again. It's never good if I've been left alone, because if I come up with all these random things on my own. And I thought, actually, I always like a question if I know we've given you the answer, because then everyone can get involved, everyone can take part. There's no worry that you're going to be excluded from that quiz or the chance to win our card. So this is the question to win the cards that we're making this evening. I've got at least 2 that I want to make, so hopefully if you don't like this one, you'll like the next one, and then you can choose whether we sign them or we leave them blank, and then we can go from there with where we're going to send them to. But our question this evening, I've changed it from what it was going to be. I thought I was going to make it really, really easy because I like easy questions. So all I'm going to ask you this evening to tell me in the comments is, where is our demo day this week? Now, I've given you the answer about 10 times tonight and about 100 times over the last few weeks. So where is our demo day this Saturday, 10 till 4? What stockist is it going to be at? Tell us in the comments. And Pete, now he's here, you know, because it was a bit tardy, now he's here, he's going to pick one lucky winner for us to post out the cards to somewhere in the world, or anywhere in the world, I should say. Okay, now we've got our vase in place. We're going to use those lines and we're going to extend our design up using these beautiful big long ferns. And then we're going to start looking at what else we're going to add into this. We're going to bring in, well, that one's got a foam pad on it actually, so we're going to build that one up with some foam pads. And this is going to be different to our original because there's no way I've got the patience to build it exactly the same. And actually it's kind of nice to build it slightly differently. So we'll add a bit more glue onto the reverse of these. And then we might bring that one out, coming across that one. Have we got any guesses already? We
do. We have quite a few flooding in now.
Very good, very good. It's what we like. Nice, simple questions, nothing too taxing. Peter will monitor the questions and he'll pick one lucky winner to receive what we create tonight. Now that one's just slightly higher because we're going to build up slightly around that. And we're also going to take these leaves. These leaves are really good for actually forming slightly. So we're going to bend these ones up just a small amount, just they're in kind of a V, just to give us a bit more depth to them. Because we want to try and create a little bit more sort of 3D life to this display. And with these ones, we're going to bring glue directly into them instead of using the pat method. And we're going to place that one down there. I'm going to do another one down here. Oh, I'm going to throw that one out the card. Not good. I'm going to, on this one, oh, we went out that way. Should we go out that way? We'll go out to that side. I'm trying to somewhere near copy the one I've done because it's going to be a good guide. And then we're going to bring in these ones. I love these. Like lotus flower style, I believe. And we're going to place one of those up there, and then we're going to bring another one in underneath. Now, I have told the world how you've been to see your mum, my lovely mother-in-law. So I don't want to wait till the end of the live. So how is she? While we're building flowers.
She's okay, thank you.
She's all right?
She's in a lot of discomfort, shall we say. But I think they've given her a plan of what she's doing. So.
Oh, if they are good.
Yeah, without going into too much detail, but no, all is okay. So
good.
Yeah, bless her.
Have they allowed her to go home?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the drip to come out and that. So she's good. She's on her way. Dad was a bit confused, bless him, but
it's been a long day for him.
Yeah.
It's not a nice day, is it? And it's a scary day. When you don't know what's going on and you're kind of, I don't like that one. No, scary day.
But thank you all for your lovely messages or comments I've seen. Thank you for them. We're
very lucky. We have a lovely group join us for our lives, don't we?
We do.
We really do. Very supportive and very kind. So thank you all for your lovely comments. Okay, come here, you. Let's pat some glue onto this. I've tried to be patient and not ask, but I need to know. Okay, and then we're going to bring this little, I love these little twiddles. There's some little twiddles in these. You know I love a twiddle. So we're going to bring that twiddle in and we're going to put that one coming out of that vase. And then we've got this extra one here. I think we need to balance up that vase over there, don't we? So we're going to take the foam tape off the back of this one. And then we're going to try and bring that one. And you can play around with this a lot more when you're doing these displays. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as what I'm doing at all. You can take these off on all different tangents, all different styles, all different flowers. And that's something actually, I'm going to see if I can show you that, because I love it when they don't, I say we don't tend to do this at the moment. You never know, it might make a return. Can't promise anything, because if I'll be honest with you, you have to be well in advance to do this. But I am going to show you this to you, because it's always nice actually when they do this, or when they have done this. These dies, on the inside, there is some inspiration. So if you're looking at this and thinking, well, what am I going to do with these once I've got them? Not only have you got the 7 pieces of inspiration, 7 projects of inspiration we're going to share as the die of the week this week, on the inside of both of the packages, you've got a few ideas there from Sue herself. And you know Sue's cards are always next level amazing. So it's actually really lovely to have that backup and that bit of inspiration as well. So yeah, certainly lots of inspiration with these, not only from the die of the week, but also inside the packs. That is going to complete our first card. Now, I'd like to think that was quite simple and easy to do, wasn't it? It could certainly be built up in many different ways. I'm going to show you this one with you as well, because I'd like to feel that we haven't gone too off the beaten track. That's pretty similar to where we began. Slight different placement, but that's fine, because that's what it's about. We don't necessarily need to make them identical. So this is the one we're going to send out. So if you haven't already, let us know in the comments, where is this week's demo day? Which stockist is it going to be taking place at? Nice simple question for you. If you're not too sure, you could even go and check out the event section of the page, which will tell you in detail all about the demo day that is taking place this Saturday 10 till 4. So that was simple, wasn't it? Nice simple question to ask, a nice one to take part in if you haven't already. Okay, I think we're getting to the part of the evening where we better set this week's homework, because I don't want you to miss out on this week's homework. This week's homework is going to be a completely different mission to any of the homework missions we have set so far on any group, actually. Any group ever, I believe. This week's mission, what I would like you to do is I would like you to make a Christmas decoration. So not a card. Every week we tell you you can make a card, you can make a scrapbook page, you can make home decor. Not this week. This week we want to see you outside the box. We want to see you go off and create something unexpected. Maybe, to give you some ideas, maybe that's a Christmas bauble. Maybe that's a place setting. Maybe that's a table centre. Maybe it's a hanging decoration. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's a garland. Just some form of Christmas decoration. It could be a plaque, could be any sort of thing you want it to be, a Santa stop here sign. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. It could be a napkin ring. It could be anything you're going to bring out year after year as a Christmas decoration. And because of that, and this doesn't mean that you've got to use this as your inspiration, but we're going to give you hashtag bauble. So whenever you wish to share a creation to enter the competition, add hashtag bauble on your post, and we will know it's one that's going to be entered in to be chosen to be our homework, or is trying to be one of our homework entrants. You can be any size, you can be any colour, you can be any style. So maybe you want to go purples and silvers and blues and very snowflakey. You could, of course, use our lovely snowflake frames that come out just last week. Or maybe you want to go slightly more traditional reds, greens, golds. Maybe you want to bring in Mr. and Mrs. Christmas from our lovely stamps and make a little 3D display. The choice is yours. It can be anything you want it to be. Now, of course, we do ask that you follow the group rules, and that really, in essence, means that you use something that originated from creative expressions in your shares. Besides that, once again, it could be any type of Christmas decoration. It can be any size. It can be any colour. It can be any style. Now, I'm just going to share a couple here with you. Now, this one, I was going to try and subtly hand this off to Pete to untangle, because I always tangle these things. So I think we're good, actually. This is one that our lovely Emma has done. Now, this is gorgeous, isn't it? Can you see that okay? So Emma has created our snowflake hanging kind of dream catcher-esque element, which is really, really cool. So that's one bit of inspiration for you. Now, I think Emma has a video for this one coming, if it hasn't already been shared. And then I know this one, Emma, see, Emma is on it, isn't she? Emma didn't know of the homework, but she is ticking the boxes. Emma has created this one, and there is a video for this using our kaleidoscope dies. Now mine's gone a little bit flat while it's sat here, so I'm going to 3D it a bit because I think you're going to see it even better then. Whether this is a giant bauble for one of them, 85-foot trees that you have in the big lobbies in places, or whether it's actually just a hanging decoration, or maybe you're going to do a series of these and literally hang them from your ceiling. But this, again, really cool decoration that could be dressed up even further if you wanted it to be, or it could be the middle of your table centre, or it could be turned into lots of different contraptions if that's what you'd like it to be. But as a big bauble, how cool is that? So there's just a couple of ideas that could certainly be entered into our competition. But there is, of course, lots more inspiration on our idea gallery. And I'm sure if you Google Christmas decorations, handmade Christmas decorations, you're going to find lots of inspirational ideas that are going to give you a bit of direction. Now, we're talking about Emma. We just shared with you those couple of creations. Emma is our lovely DT member who creates all of our videos for us that you're going to see on the pages. You see lots of different mixtures and product overviews and projects and different bits that are all done by Emma predominantly at the moment. And actually what this means is when we do our releases, Emma's stuff doesn't tend to get here in time because she's using it for her videos. And her videos kind of appear after the releases have come out, which is really lovely because it means that I get little parcels of inspiration land here throughout the coming weeks after each release happens. But it doesn't mean I always remember to share them with you guys. So tonight I thought we would dig out a few bits. I wanted to share those with you, but I wanted to share with you a couple of other bits and bobs as well that Emma has created. Now, some of these you may well have seen videos for. Some of these you might see videos appear shortly. But either way, isn't it lovely to see these and see a little bit of inspiration from another one of our incredibly talented team? I loved this one. There was a video for this one that Emma shared using our picket fence to make this little tray. I don't know, that's not the right word. What do I call this bit, Pete? The little like plant pot, planter.
Just a container or something. What? I don't know.
Planter.
Planter's good.
Planter. Makes me think of that shampoo that helps your hair stay in. That's plant or something, isn't it?
Maybe.
I don't know. It's the women's version. I use the men's version. Hasn't helped me. Nevertheless, no product reviews here for hair saving techniques. Okay, so this is our lovely little basket full of flowers, which is really, really lovely. And I like the window that Emma's made at the back as well. Sticking with the picket fence idea, another really cool one here with a little wrap round with a picket fence added on there. And I see she did a video with this one as well. She painted all of those herself, and I thought that was really, really good because it looks really cool, doesn't it? Little display in the background. And another one here using the big picket fence with the wood grain stamp over the top of it as well. So lots of inspiration. Isn't that cool? Just seeing just those three. You can see that the same person's created them, very much on sort of trend, on theme. But isn't it really lovely to see 3 different attempts or takes or versions of that picket fence coming into action? This one, again, really lovely. I like the pink in this and that sort of bright popper colour and that lovely little display. And it also shows how easy that could be to take off in different colourways, again, done by Emma. And then another little 3D display here, which is really lovely. That genuinely does look like a piece of home decor, doesn't it? That could be, of course, turned into your Christmas homework if you preferred, by swapping out some of the decorations for some Christmas elements. So just a few bits of inspiration there from Emma that I wanted to share with you. Now, should we fit in another demo? Should we go off on another tangent? Have we had any techie questions that we can help answer this evening before we move on to demo number 2, Peter?
No, I don't think so, apart from that's probably called a window box. Is what
window box? Window box is a good one. We could go with window box. That's a very sensible one. I knew there had to be a logical name there somewhere other than planter.
Should have seen really by the window that's on there.
I think common sense leaves us by about 1 in the afternoon.
It does.
And then from now till midnight, we just kind of wing it. There's not much sense. I was talking to my mum earlier and struggled to form about 5 sentences. And she said, well, tonight's live's going to be interesting. And I was like, yeah, it probably will be. It probably will be. I did urge her not to watch, but I bet she's there somewhere. Okay, so next up, what we're going to be playing with We're going to stick with our die of the week because I wanted to share this card with you as well. And I'm sharing all of the upcoming secrets with you of what's going to be being posted throughout the week. So when these get posted, you're going to have to and ah, because of today we shared this one with you, didn't we? And this one is very similar to the card that we just demoed, other than we've changed a little bit of the placement for it. But we did exactly the same with the waxes. So this time using the copper wax over the top instead. And hopefully you can see that lovely sheen. I actually think I prefer the copper to the gold when you look at it in that sense, but both of the waxes, beautiful colours, but very similar idea. And I like that little slatted window effect in the background. We're going to be using one of those tiles in this card. So for this one, what we're going to be using is we're going to be using our crushed velvet paper. Now, if you haven't seen our crushed velvet paper already, this comes in 10 sheets per pack. The colours we currently have available here at HQ, which means the other colours, you might well track them down at our stockists, of course, but here still available is Azure Blue, Thunder Fog. I don't know, why do I take that off into like a French accent? I don't know where that comes from. Is Azure even French?
Oui.
I don't know if it is it? I don't know. I don't know the originality of the word Azure. But it does always end up a little bit French. Sorry to anybody who is French, who is watching me attempt French. Not good. I did German at school. I can't do that either. Then we've got Thunder Fog. That's more like it. Dusky Pink, Mint Mist, Antique White, Honey, and Denim. And they're the colours that are currently available. There is a couple more. There's a lovely red, a lovely white, and a lovely green. Those are temporarily out of stock, but they are winging their way back to us as we speak. So do keep an eye out for those, but they might already be available at our stockists. So do have a little look. But this is the colour palette that I thought I'd share with you, because if you haven't seen it, you might want to track this down. Now, this paper is absolutely gorgeous to work with. It has got such a lovely sheen and feel to it. I'm not sheen, that's not the right word. Kind of, my dad did this kit for me yesterday. Did it with my mum and my dad did the kits for me. They always do the kits for me. And my dad come through and he said, I need that paper that looks a bit like wallpaper. And I was like, it does actually. I hadn't give it that credit, but it kind of does. I think it looks a little bit like cement depending on the colours. But when we named it, we kind of had a little look and we thought, well, actually, it looks a bit like crushed velvet. So it kind of takes you off on lots of different tangents. But it has got this beautiful soft texture to it. I don't know how well you're going to see that, because the cameras are never easy, are they? I don't know if you're going to see that at all. Even if we zoom in on it, are we going to get that? I don't think you're going to get that. I'm going to see if I can share with you a different... Oh, I have a piece here of the Azure, Peter. We'll go to the Azure instead. Can we see it on there a bit better? Oh, you might get it. There we go. There's a bit of texture coming through. All of the colours are the same. It's just not always easy to get cameras to pick up on them. But it genuinely has that kind of beautiful texture to it. And it's got a lovely ability to be shaped and folded and cut and pasted and did all them bits with, because it's 120 GSM. So it really does make shaping and ripping and tearing and doing all of them kind of techniques with it really lovely to do. I love the fact you also have a colour core run through it. So if you do want to create them kind of ripped effects and go down that vintage look, you're going to be able to do that with it too. You could, of course, ink those or colour them. And that texture, you might want to highlight it with some inks. You might want to bring in some of your waxes to it and go over the top of them with those as well, which he says, and then thinks, well, I need to do that because I don't know if I've ever done that. So we're going to bring in this one. This is the Snow White from the waxes. I'm going to build this up subtly because I don't want to go in and lose that pattern. This isn't like an embossed panel. It's not like a piece of embossed card as such, or a, you know, from an embossing folder. So we don't want to lose the depth and the beautiful texture that we've created by going in too heavy. But hopefully you can see that. That's actually really nice, because it's going to give us, you can see that little pearl shimmer there? See the pearlness coming over? We've kept that texture, we've kept that depth, but we've got that little pearl finish coming through. So that's really lovely. So again, you might want to apply ink to it, you might want to apply waxes to it, you might have a different product that you want to apply to it. But either way, you're going to be able to kind of highlight that texture and build that up a little bit if you want to. So for this card, we're going to use the paper. We're going to use the scalloped, edged and pierced squares. We're going to use the happy birthday to my best friend sentiment. And then we're going to pick one, just one, of our patchwork collection frames. And we are going to go for the polka dot square. And we don't even want the square, we just want the edge around the side of it. That one that we use on this card is, of course, the striped square tile, and the edge that we used around it is the floral square tile. And this is what I love about these. If you've not seen them before, each tile has a different interchangeable frame running around the edge of it. So you can, of course, interchange the frames to the tiles or the tiles to the frames, whatever way round you wish to work with them to create some really cool effects. And these are quite small, they're not huge, they're only 3¼ inches by 3¼ inches. So if you like making small cards, maybe you're postage conscious, then absolutely perfect to work with these to make your sort of smaller cards. But of course you can use 4 of them on a card and turn it into a big 8x8 if you prefer. Okay, card size, the all-important question. What are we working on for this one? We're going to work on a card blank, which is 1/4⁷ by 1/4⁷. So basically a 7x7 that's come out of the pack with the envelope being 7x7, and this is the next stage down. And we're going to start building up on this one using our lovely scalloped squares. So scalloped squares with the pierced detail inside, and then in the middle we've used the plain squares. I think we used the plain squares. We might have done it on a guillotine. Either would work, but we'll then cut the square to go into the middle of it, and we're going to build up on these, keep going up with each of the layers. So scallops, and then that beautiful crushed velvet paper on the insert. This is going to be a really quick card to do because I thought this would be a really lovely one to share with you. And you don't have to do this. You can see here, I'm going to cover the majority of that frame in the middle. And this is actually where dies instead of trimmers can come in really beneficial, because you could have literally trimmed out each of them sizes and then just added on the layers. So basically, it's a horrible term, but we class it as gutting, because if you're just using the outside, the frame that you create, not the whole panel, it saves you a small fortune, because it literally means instead of using 2 or 3 sheets of that paper to make this one card, we could have got all of these layers out of one sheet, because we're only seeing a fraction around the edges. But doesn't it look elegant where we layer up, and this lovely soft mint green is such a pretty shade to have just running around those edges. It's not too heavy, it's not going to steal the show from what we're doing on the top here. It's just a subtle shade that's going to kind of blend into the background, and the more we add it in and the more layers we put it onto, the more beautiful it's going to get. So we're going to add the top part on, and then we're going to bring in that frame. So this, of course, is that frame that's coming with our patchwork frame set, and I want to share these with you in a bit more detail. So I'm going to bring in the board. Now with these, now you possibly see it in the packs, but you have a separate frame. You then actually have your tile, and then you have a frame around the tile. So this means that your tile element can cut in and stay in your card, or you can bring in that outside frame and it's going to trim it out as a separate panel. Your frame has a cut line around the inside and the outside of it, so it's going to cut it out for you. So I'm going to show you what that means, just to make sure we're perfectly clear on this, because I really like this. So we're going to bring in a piece of silver mirror, because you are then going to hopefully see the embossing even better on camera than you're going to on the white card that I've used. So I'm going to send that through. Now you can use your rubber mat if you want to amplify that debossing or embossing effect, but we don't need to. Just one cut through the machine is going to do this for us to quite a nice level of detail. So now this one's gone through, we can reveal our frame, and we have got that perfectly cut panel that's got this beautiful detail running around the edge of it. We'll have if it picks up. Oh, there we go. Can you start to see that coming through now? Beautiful detail. Isn't that gorgeous? I like scallop with a little dot on the inside of it. Very, very pretty. Now, another thing that I love about this, and you will have seen me do this previously with our squares and circle dies that we bought out, frame dies, we now have the ability to make interlocking mechanisms, because that square's cut out of the centre there, and that is the perfect fit. So if you want to do a gatefold card and have that interlocking, like literally locking element, that's going to work perfectly for you. You might want to cut a couple of each of these so that they're a little bit stronger, so when they interlock they don't kind of mix and match. And you might, and it's up to you, you might want to trim just a fraction off of the inner square, just so they really kind of lock together easily. But it's going to work for you nicely, and it's going to give you a lovely effect. It can of course be done on gatefold cards or different elements, maybe even on boxes or side panels, bits like that. So onto our card, we're going to bring in that square that we've worked with, and we're going to use some 1mm foam tape on the reverse of that. And I've just trimmed mine down so it fits perfectly behind the frame. I'm going to take these pieces off from around the edges, and we're going to bring that in and place that on top here of that lovely mint green. Then, bringing in our flowers, we're going to go for our vase. Vase. And that one comes from this set. So we're going to go for this lovely tall skinny vase. Vase or vase? What is it?
Vase.
Vase.
Well, unless you're posh, maybe.
And then is it vase?
I say vase.
Could I attempt to be posh? Vase. Is that the posh way? No? Yes?
I think we need to move on.
Okay, moving swiftly on.
I'm
We're going to go for the
sound effect we can give him. That's good.
It's the sound effect of most of my life. Okay, so we're going to go for this one. Now, I will be honest, out of all of the samples you're going to see this week, I think I've pretty much gone for that one, and that one. Got a bit taken away with these ones, and I really like how this sort of short, fat one fitted really nicely with the tall, skinny one. And then this one, if you're going to build little displays like we did on the first card, that really is a nice one to accentuate the design across the bottom and kind of gives me a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a modern feel, this one. So I don't know, either way, but we're going to go for that one. We're going to go for the tall, skinny one. And we're going to bring this in, and I've already cheated, put some foam tape on the reverse of it. So we're going to stand that onto the side here of the frame. And we need to make sure that we leave enough room for our sentiment, actually. So before we get too carried away, let's bring in the sentiment. So we're going to use the happy birthday to my best friend. And we're going to snip these bits off the back there. Again, just building up with 1mm foam tape. And then we're going to bring that in and place that. Oh yeah, that fits perfectly. So we're going to stand that off to one side. And then we've got our vase. Vase, did we decide? Do you know when you've said a word so many times, you've got no idea how to say it any longer? I'm at that stage. We might just have to start calling it the pot. We're going to bring in the pot. We're going to bring in the little display pieces. And now these I've cut from white card, and we're going to bring in a piece of white paper. And we're going to bring in our glue. And all we're going to do is we're going to take our glue and we're just going to dot the glue over the tips here. And if you do this on your non-stick mat, the bit I'm covering up with a piece of paper, which is a bit silly, but I want to make sure I can work on that mat again straight away without you having to watch me clean it. If we do any gluing over the edge, it's not the end of the world because if it's not going to stick. Or if we do it on the paper and we accidentally put a bit too much glue on, it's going to stick. We're then going to bring in some of our glitter. Now, I would normally say that we're going to use our diamond white glitter, but we are so out of diamond white glitter, I've even had to part with my pot. So we're going to use some rose quartz instead because I've got that to hand. We're going to make sure we don't get the glue there, and we're going to sprinkle that over the top. Now, the nice bit with this is you can do this a couple of times. And if you've done it because we're using the wet glue and it's got a bit of body to it, if you're not too happy with it or it hasn't landed quite where you want it to land, you can give it a little squidge about, move it about a little, and then form it to where you want it to be because they're little like beads of glue. And I've lost my tweezers. I don't know where my tweezers have gone. I have a feeling that my tweezers are going to have magically made their way to the other room, Peter.
Do we think someone's been in?
I think one of our naughty elves, has had it away with my tweezers. So I'm gonna go back to this. Wait there, where there's a will, there's a way. Come on, chunky fingers, you can do this. Okay, so give that a little flick, and then we've got this beautiful glitter, just accentuating the ends of our branches. Looks a little bit like rushes, doesn't it? Like, do they call them rushes? Pete's left the room, so I've got no backup now. Call them rushes that you get in the ponds? Maybe they don't. I think they're just one line, aren't they? With a little bit at the top. I don't know. I really shouldn't talk on these things. We should do lives in silence, just so you don't get the idea of just how on a different planet we sometimes are. Okay, so we're going to bring these in. What do they call them things that live in ponds that look a little bit like these? Are they rushes?
Couldn't say frogs.
Not frogs. They look a little bit like this.
Yeah, like a bulrush, is it?
Is it a bulrush, is it?
Sounds kind of convincing, doesn't it?
I don't know. Somebody might rescue us in the comments.
Someone needs to rescue us in the comments.
Should we sing at them?
Should we sing? Shall we?
No. If they haven't already chose to leave.
Diane. Oh, Diane's there. My
I
Diane.
think 3 might be enough.
She says bulrushes.
Bulrushes. Thank you, Diane. It's good that somebody keeps us on the straight and narrow. So, okay, with our foam tape in place, all we're now going to do is bring in another vase, pot, and we're going to line that up and we're going to stick that one over the top.
Nikki says in Norfolk we put flowers in a vase. Because we do say flowers, don't we? Flowers.
Do we?
We do.
Have we not learned that I can barely talk?
We're picking that up.
Barely talk. Barely on the planet at all anymore. Okay, in a good way. In a good way. So there we go. There is our little display. I think I'm going to have to add some glue. I'm going to have to add some glue. We're going to add a little bit of glue.
Speaking of glue, Alison's just said hello, Alison.
Hello, Alison.
Hello,
Why
Alison.
did you remind me of what's the show? Radio, and you call in with your problems. Frasier Crane. Do you remember Frasier? Did you watch Frasier?
No,
have you never watched Frasier? We need to watch Frasier. I loved Frasier.
But it just reminds me of a conversation that I had with Lynn. She said, Alison says, you two should do an Elf on a Shelf this year and see what antics they get up to. Which reminded me of the conversation, which I think you said on the live last week.
We did.
That we need to have a set of elf stamps for the DT. And then we could have them. Just, do you know what I mean?
That might be being worked on.
Might it?
Might be.
And then.
Might be being
and
worked
they could use their little
Not
stamps
this year, though.
on the backs of their cards, was Lynn's suggestion, because it could have their. Then you'd know who's which naughty elf made which card.
That's a good idea.
I thought that's a good idea.
I like that idea.
And she's going to kill me.
Should we come to you? If you're going to confess something problematic, we'll come to you.
I was thinking of. See, I blame you, Lynn, I'm afraid. We have our little doorstep conversations and I go collect cards, don't we, Lynn? We're sort of thinking of what items that each people could be carrying.
Okay. So and what have we got so far?
As if Wendy's got her ears shut, but I thought Wendy could have a little ruler in her hand.
Okay, yeah, ruler's good for Wendy.
We get much further than Wendy and a ruler. But we're trying to work out who could have what things in their hands and what they could be up to on their little stamps. And so the wheels are in motion, shall we say? Or they're in for some fun.
I can only think of really cheeky things that I would give for them to put in their hands. I don't know if we can talk about them.
Well, they're naughty elves, but let's not go down that route.
Emma's got a pet snake called Bella. She keeps trying to encourage me that we should do a stamp of a snake. Would an elf have a snake? Snakes can't live in the North Pole, surely. It'd be a bit frosty. Don't think that's going to work.
No. They need to be warm, don't they?
They do need to be warm.
Wendy's happy with a ruler.
Ruler? I think that's quite a good one. I think that's quite...
I think Wendy has about 4 or 5 rulers, doesn't she?
And the rest.
How many rulers do you have, Wendy?
That's a question I bet nobody ever thought you would hear us ask on a live.
Diane, I'm not sure I can answer your question. She says, please tell me what I'm going to hold. We're going to get chopped off Facebook soon.
One of these days.
What would you want to hold, Diane, is the question?
I think we move swiftly on, you guys, and we do another card before Facebook comes up and goes and evicts us.
Wendy thinks she's got about 12 rulers.
About 12. Okay, we've got time possibly for one more card, and now we're talking elves. I think we should go off on a bit of a Christmas tangent. So we're going to do this one. I absolutely love this because I love a bit of silver and white. I think it's very elegant, very easy to do, and it doesn't really matter what you use, it's going to look pretty and shimmery and lovely. So we're going to do this one, and we're going to keep it nice and simple and nice and quick. So this card is a lovely 10th fold card. Again, I like doing these when they're kind of slimliney style cards like this one. So nice to create, nice and easy to do. Card size wise, we are looking at 9.5 inches, so it's a big one, by 5.5 inches. So I've cut this out of a store-bought card that would have been 7 by 10 out of the packet to give me the size that I'm going to be working with. And then we're going to start off with some mats and layers. So we're going to bring in some silver mirror card for our first layer. There's a few layers to this one. I'm going to do it all on 1 mil foam tape. So we're going to bring in our first layer and build up from the base with this one. How are we doing for our competition questions? Have we got many who have asked now or answered where our demo day is this Saturday?
We've had quite a lot of entrants.
Okay, so
Entries.
there isn't a prize for this question. This is just pure nosiness on my behalf. I would love to know, are you going? Are you going to go along to the demo day? Let us know in the comments. Are you planning on heading there? And I'm saying there because I can't go giving away the answer, because that would answer the first question, wouldn't it? And I've already done that enough. But we will, of course, recap where there is before the end of the night. So do not fear if you've just joined us and you've got no idea where there is. But are you going there on Saturday between 10 and 4? I would like to know. Okay, onwards and upwards with our panels. So we are now 4 panels high, and we're going to bring in our next component. And we're going to bring in this lovely arch. I love this arch. This is one of my dies that I created with Creative Expressions. This is our elegant arch. Its number is CEDJR088. We've cut 2 of these. And actually, when I look at it back now, the packaging is a little bit misleading because these white bits are debossed bits, which are actually really lovely, because when you look at it, you can see this beautiful pattern go down the side there. And when I did this, I was thinking, and I had never done it, and I think I need to do it at some point, but I was thinking we should have a little bride and groom to stand in the arch. But I haven't done one yet. But we could, and we should, and we'll have to. But maybe a little bride and groom could stand in there or in front of there. I think Sue might have a slightly smaller bride and groom, but it could have a Christmas tree in the centre of there. It could, of course, have our sleigh and reindeers, which is what we're going to be building up in front of it with. Now, our sleigh and reindeers come to us in the Santa's sleigh die set. That one is CEDJR084. We're going to be using a sentiment off of this set, which is CEDJR093. And we're going to top this card off with one of our pierced and scalloped ovals, which is JRCD0026. So let's bring on the arches to begin with. We're going to bring in 2 of these, and we've already put some foam tape on the reverse of them. We're going to try and work out where we want to be. We want to be about there, I feel. I think when I did mine, in honesty with you, I joined the 2 arches together, so I didn't have to do it this way. I put a line of foam tape across the back of them and joined them together. I think that would actually be easier than trying to line them up this way. But we're going to go with it. We're here. We're going to carry on. So we're going to go in for our first one, and we're going to go with that being there. And we're going to put our second one about there, our first one. And then we're going to bring in the next one. And I love doing this because it creates this whole big opening in the middle that we can build up on top of. Now, if you wanted, you could absolutely snip out those swirls. You don't have to be using these bits in the middle here. If they are in the way and you want to keep that big opening there instead, then of course just snip them, take them away. If you want to take out all of those pieces, if you want to put in a big Christmas tree, a big bride and groom, or maybe you want to extend down with extra columns to make it longer, then of course you could snip out lots of these pieces and actually build that out to be a much bigger platform if you'd like, or a bigger area. We're then going to bring in that scalloped oval, and we're going to build up on the top here of that panel. So we're going to bring this in, and we're going to place that down over the top, and this is going to cover a lot of that join work. And it now gives us a landing spot to build the rest of our scene. So we're going to bring in our sleigh and our reindeers, and we're going to start off by putting the sleigh down. And then we're going to go to our 2 different reindeers, and we're going to stand this one, and I want to get this somewhere near right, so I think we're going to go for that one being around about there. And then we're going to bring this second one in, and we're going to stand that one just over the front of it. Might stand that one slightly further back. That's all right, I'm happy with that placement. And then we've got a couple of bits that are going to go in the sleigh. Santa can't be without presents, so we've got a little sack of presents. And then we've got a couple of individual presents that we're going to put one coming out from behind that and one coming out from in front of it. We're going to place them down, and then we're going to finish this off just with our sentiment. So we're going to use Dear Santa, cut from Silver Mirror card. We're going to add some glue to the reverse of this one. We're going to add that onto the top part. Just in there. Now, wasn't that a nice quick little demo just to top off, just so when we send these out, we've got 3 to send out. I always like it if we can fit in 3. So that weren't too bad, was it? Nice, quick, simple demo showing you how you could take that arch and build that up to be a much bigger landing platform or background element to go behind this. And I have a feeling that if you've got that arch and you've started snipping into it and extending it out, there's a lot you could do with this. And actually, and this wasn't thought or planned at all, imagine sticking those back to back and turning them into a Christmas decoration. Or it's a symmetrical shape. And I love a symmetrical shape because it means you could literally fold them in half and then stick them back to back to back to back to back to back and put that as the middle of your table centre and then put something in the middle of it. Or, and here I go off on little tangents, you could cut these and then cut a piece of card as a little like L and put them either side so you could make that standing like a little pagoda with 4 arches. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? And then you could build up a like 3D Christmas tree in the middle of it to be your table centre or your Christmas decoration. And this is what I love about talking about Christmas decorations when it comes to papercraft. I think we sometimes forget just how many of the items we've already got in our stash can be taken and turned into home decor, turned into gifts, turned into decorations. And I think there's a lot of ways you could be taking things you've already potentially got and challenging yourself to take them off into that sort of decoration style, because I think we do forget that sometimes. I know I do, and it'll be really lovely to see you all join in with our homework this week and see if you could take off that kind of mission and see what you can create with it. Now, in case I didn't mention it earlier, with your homework missions, you're going to share them on our group. Our group is Creative Expressions Official Group. If you're not already a member, come and join us. There's 14,000 members on the group, and every day we share endless inspiration, or you guys share endless inspiration. It's not about us. Although our DT are, of course, in the group and they share lots of creations in there too. But it is really your place to share with us what you've been creating with the Creative Expressions products. We love to see what you've been up to, whether it's something that's brand new today or 5 years old. If it's from Creative Expressions, we would love to see what you've been creating with it. So join the group, share your creations, and if you can, join in with the homework, because it'd be absolutely lovely to see your take on our missions. So, Peter, do we have a winner? Have you found one? Have you picked one?
We may well do.
Do you need a minute or are you there?
No, we do.
That's okay.
My little,
over to the independent adjudicator.
Debbie Cam is back, is that?
And we're ready with a button.
Oh dear, which one? Thank you for all your comments. It's very good. It's very nice of you. Thank you for joining in. So the answer is correct. Is join Barry and Julie this weekend at Craft Bliss. This Saturday, lovely Gwen is there 10 till 4, as Jamie says. And the winner this evening is... Does it normally go that long?
It does. The end bit really lingers, doesn't it?
I feel we've extended it somehow. Anyway.
How would I have done that?
Congratulations to Wendy Corbett. So if you want to, I can get it wrong now, drop us an email, Wendy, to jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com. And if you let us know your address and whether you'd like your card signed, and we'll get that sorted for you. All right? But yeah, thank you all for joining in. Back to the boss.
To the boss.
To the boss.
To the boss. To the boss. To the boss. The boss that apparently has been turned into an electrician can open this and make it sound longer. Honestly. Can barely use Facebook, let alone operate something like that and create a new sound effect. Honestly. What's he like?
We know you're the boss.
I think that's worthy of a star. Did anyone give us a star update this evening? I feel that Pete at least deserves 5.
I haven't seen Emma, so I think we're in the clear tonight.
I think that means you get 5. Okay.
5. I am in a very dark corner, Fran. You are right. It doesn't even give me illumination. But it's getting darker outside, isn't it now?
But when I can go off on a tangent, when I can order me bookcases.
What was that?
Bookcases from that Swedish place that really should sponsor us and give us lots of free bookcases. When I order them, then we'll give you some new lighting. Okay. And you'll have nice backdrops behind you.
Heard it here first.
But I need to do my Swedish order to get those in. But there is a list at the moment, so I can't moan. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, lots of dates to remind you of. So if you haven't already grabbed a pen and paper, grab a pen and paper. Of course, you do officially know that Craft Bliss are going to be having our demo day this weekend, 10 till 4 in store with Gwen. If you missed the beginning of tonight's live, I was telling you, Gwen It's got a very, very, very cool collection that she, and that isn't a hint, the word cool, I extended that a little bit, don't take that as a hint. She has a very lovely collection that she is launching exclusively at Craft Bliss on Saturday. It is literally the only place in the world you're going to be able to purchase it. And that's up until the 28th. And then it will launch on Hobby Maker at 5 p.m. She's there at 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. But if you're local to the demo day and you can pop in and get hold of it, it's your one place to get hold of it before anybody else. And I mean anybody else. Monday at 7 p.m, Gwen will be back here, right here. Not here actually, that's a complete lie. She'll be at home, but she'll be here. I don't know. She'll be around. You'll see her on this page, 7 p.m. For Monday Night Natter Sneaky Peek, where she'll be sharing it with all of you so you can see what the brand new collection is. You're going to love it, I feel. There's some really cute elements. There's some really different elements. As I said to you at the beginning of this, I only had to do half a dozen cards. I've done 30. I loved it. I think you're going to fall in love with it as much as I have. But I'm going to let Gwen tell you all about it Monday at 7 if you don't make it to Craft Bliss on the Saturday. As I mentioned, Gwen will then be on Hobby Maker on Thursday. So where we would normally swap, and if she does Monday, I would do Thursday. I'm not going to do Thursday because of Gwen's on telly at 8 p.m. and that's going to set far too many precious times for us. So I think what we'll do instead is we'll be back here Friday night at 7 p.m. So next week, Monday and Friday for your lives, Gwen on Thursday on Hobby Maker at 5 and 8 p.m. I think that's all of the lives you need to know about now before I confuse the life out of myself and possibly potentially you guys, although you're much more intelligent than I am. But I am going to leave you with the times for this week's show on highlight, which is liveshopping.vip, depending on the name you know it as. But liveshopping.vip, if you haven't come across it already, you'll be able to watch it on their Facebook page, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch it on their website. I think they also do TikTok and Instagram, but they go well over my head, so we're just going to leave those ones where they are. But if you haven't watched us there already, liveshopping.vip is a great place to come along and join us. We have 2 hours on our first hour, which is going to be Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're going to be taking a little look at Rodney and family. You can see him dotted around behind us still. And then Thursday at 1 p.m, we will be bringing more inspiration with the dies to dot. Now, I'm really looking forward to playing with these because I did do quite a few samples and I have shared with you a couple of demos on the lives. But when these went to air, when they went to Hobby Maker, Gwen took them to air and gave us so much cool inspiration with them. But I didn't get to play with them that much. So we're going to have a little play with these on liveshopping.vip on Thursday at 1 p.m. They are now back in stock, and that means that they are back in stock with your stockists. They are back in stock with liveshopping.vip. So if you've been watching these and waiting for them to return, then do have a little look at that show because there's going to be new inspiration with them, new examples as well from myself and the DT. So tune in Thursday 1 p.m. for a little bit of inspo with that collection. If you've had this on extended dispatch from a stockist or from the TV, as in Hobby Maker, then keep an eye on your post box because they've literally come back in and they've now been sent out to stockists and they've now been sent out to all of our TV orders as well. So if you're waiting for these, just keep an eye. There's a few more TV orders that are waiting to go tomorrow. So if you haven't had a notification yet, do not panic. You have not been lost or forgotten. Just being honest with you, Yodel turned up a little bit earlier than we would have liked. We tried to bribe him, but it didn't work. So the rest will leave tomorrow when he comes back round again to do another collection. So keep an eye on your notifications, and then of course keep an eye on the post box because they won't be far away. Okay, I think that is all of my reminders and bits that I have to do. Any last questions before we leave them all in peace for this evening?
Sue just quickly asked, what channel is live shopping, please? Where can she...
So live shopping isn't a channel, it's not on TV, but you can cast it. I think that's the right technical thing. Here we go again, me and technology, they don't go together very well. But you can watch it on your smart TVs if you open the YouTube app and then search on YouTube for liveshopping.vip. If you don't wish to cast it to your TV, then of course you can watch it on your mobile devices as well, just like you are watching this live now. Wherever you're watching this live now, you can be watching Live Shopping VIP. They have their own page you can follow. You can also watch it through Highlight Crafts. You can also watch it directly on their website too. As I mentioned, I think they're on TikTok and Instagram, but I don't know because they're worlds that I really haven't yet got to grips with myself. But yeah, websites, YouTube, and Facebook. We also usually broadcast it on my Jamie Rogers Crafts Facebook page. I have a feeling this week we're going to attempt to get it right here on the Creative Expressions page as well. So it might well appear here, but I don't want to promise you that and it not happen. I've got to talk to Hannah at Live Shopping and see if we can get that to work, because of, you know, me and tech doesn't work, so I need outside help. But if we can get it to, it might even appear right here on this page as well for those 2 shows, which again is Wednesday at 6 p.m. and Thursday at 1 p.m. Okay, I think we should leave them all in peace, don't you?
I think they've had enough of us this
I
evening.
don't blame them if they have. Thank you all very much
Thank
for
you.
joining us this evening. Thank you for giving us your time. And I hope you're as excited about the week ahead as we are. What between the shows at liveshopping.vip, the demo days and the Facebook Lives, we've got a whole host of things coming your way in the next few days. So I hope you can join us for as many of them as you possibly can. It is always a pleasure to have you with us. So from me, good night.
And good night from me.
What about Debbie?
Oh,
Debbie was here for the beginning,
happy
unlike
bird,
you.
Debbie. Happy bird.
And
Gonna put her
your
in the
bird,
corner.
Debbie. I don't think we can call her that.
Can we not?
No,
Otherwise.
that wasn't the one that scared me out of my life. That was the Enchanted Sprinkles board. that was scary.
That's all.
Okay,
Thank you
come
very
on,
much.
let's leave them in
Thanks for
peace.
joining us.
Night, night, all. Thank you
Night.
again.
Take care.
Bye for now.